always been quite into politics, but I've found that in Gibraltar it's always been quite alienating and quite just sort of seems like something a bit out of reach. And I think a lot of young people have felt similarly and felt like they don't really have a voice.
Benji, sit down.
Hey, Spectrum, when you don't see people that look like yourself there in Parliament.
You don't relate.
And yeah, you can't relate to the lawyers that sit out there, and it does help if...
and vice versa.
Yeah,
all the divisive
absolutely.
two-party thing, it's just very polarising in a small community. Do we really just need two parties? No, ideally we don't want anyone being block voted in again. We want to see coalitions being forced so that things have to be more transparent and there aren't decisions being made behind closed doors.
Yeah, absolutely. And when politics, as I say, comes across a bit alienating, it was just a bit of a career ladder rather than people getting involved with a purpose. And I really think that that's something we can sort of...
Yeah, and I think like in a small place like Gibraltar, it's all the more important to have real representation from our parliamentarians so that people can relate, because in Gibraltar nobody's anonymous. Everybody is a face and a person. So it's very important for people to understand who their politicians are and to identify them and relate to them. And I think there's a big need for that kind of aspect and representation in Parliament.
I think Gibraltar is quite unique in the sense that everyone feels engaged in the process of politics and everyone has an opinion, but I think people feel that there's a lack of a platform or voice for their representation. And I think you've really hit on a few key points as well with regards to the cross-section, and it's nice to see, at least here in the Together Gibraltar Party, that we do have that cross-section of society representation.
No, of course, that's true. Also, the different industries that are being reflected amongst us. The truth is that very often you won't find true representation from a particular industry or business. And it is important that we have people over there who know this stuff inside out, going through and then serving as those stakeholders who will be responsible for setting policies further down the line.
I was talking to somebody about a homemaker recently, and she was saying, oh, I've got no, there's no way I could become a politician. I'm saying, no, actually, you'd be ideal because you understand exactly the issues that affect you and you're representative of a lot of people. Yes. So at the end of the day, having people like you in Parliament is very important. Why? Because we've got groups that are representative of our community, and at the moment, I don't feel it is. Politics is becoming very elitist and, as I said earlier, very polarised. So the one thing I'd like to see is just a lot of an injection of diversity. So if you feel that, okay, you've just got a valid point and some ideas that you'd like to take forward, well, feed them into an executive. And if you really feel passionate about it and you want to take it further, just stand. But ultimately, I think people are afraid and think that, politics isn't something that's accessible to the common person. And the reality is, it is.
And how funny is that we're looking to democratize democracy, right? We're trying to take democracy back to the people, take politics back to the people. I think that's a very noble mission of ours.